Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What I Watched. This time it is covering everything I watched in the month of May 2023. Yes, I know it is almost October, but let's go through everything that I watched in May. As of now, I don't know if I'm going to remember much about what I watched in May, so this could be a very long episode or a very short episode. Let's go through it. All right, so first up, I watched The Covenant, which was a very well-made film. Jake Gyllenhaal does a great job in this film. I just don't think it's a story that I'm going to revisit. I do think Guy Ritchie does a good job with the filmmaking, but again, it just doesn't feel like it has that Guy Ritchie flair like he's known for. So yeah, The Covenant, it's fun, it's fine. If you go through and you watch it at home, I think that would probably be the best way to experience the film. I watched it in theaters. It was fine. After that, I watched Renfield, which you'll see in future episodes. I have revisited this film since the first viewing. I really did enjoy it like a ton on that first viewing experience. I had a blast in the theater with my girlfriend. We both really enjoyed the film. But I will say, upon revisiting it, I think we've watched it 2 more times now, maybe just once. You know, I don't think it's something I'm going to end up purchasing in the future. But again, it was fine in the theater, and I guess it just didn't hold up as well on that second viewing. After that, I'm going to combine these into a group. This is all of the I Am Groot short films. Yeah, they were fun. They were cute. I can't really particularly remember anything special about them, but they were cute. They were fun. Next up after that, we watched Killer Sally, which I have to say I did fall asleep through. Daviana finished it, but I did not. Next up after that was Beef, the, I guess, miniseries on Netflix, which I thought was fantastic. Ali Wong and Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead, they both were fantastic. Again, not something that I think I'm going to revisit, but as a one-time watch, I thought it was really well done. And then next up, I'm going to combine these two, or I guess combine these 3, because this was the day where I saw 3 movies in one day, all at the same theater, actually, and that was Sisu, Super Mario Bros., and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was a blast of a day to see movies. I saw Sisu in a theater that was basically by myself because the one other person that was there left like 20 minutes into the film. And so I had a blast watching Sisu. Super Mario Bros. Was fun. Again, I kind of wish I would have waited to see that at home because I got a little bit antsy towards the end. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, seeing that in theaters with a packed crowd and my girlfriend next to me, like we both really enjoyed it. She doesn't want to rewatch it just because of how dark it was, and I totally get that. Like, it's not a film you're just going to want to throw on because it does have such tough material, which you wouldn't expect from a common Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Next up, I watched Mafia Mama, which is objectively not very good, but I love Toni Collette. I will watch anything that she's in, and I kind of had a blast with it just because she was in the film. The visuals were fun, and it was entertaining enough that I just didn't care that it was dumb. It was a dumb, fun time, and that's all I was asking for. After that, I rewatched Evil Dead Rise, which I still have to post my review for. Yes, I know, I'm extremely late. Like, my last review, I believe, was Evil Dead 2. So I need to post some full movie reviews, which I'm sorry if anybody likes those, and I just haven't been doing them. But I will be finishing my Evil Dead franchise review series, I guess, coming very shortly. But Evil Dead Rise, I don't want to give away everything that I thought about it on the second rewatch just because I knew I had to rewatch this film. But I think my ranking is going to surprise a lot of Evil Dead fans. After that, I watched The Meg. This was a rewatch. The first time I watched it was in theaters when it first came out, and it was a dumb, fun time. I wish it had more Meg. Same goes with this rewatch experience. It was a lot slower than I remembered. I'll say it now. The first Meg compared to the second one is a drastic difference. The first one is so much better, and that's like really saying something because I'll talk about the second one when it comes up in whatever month it came out. I think it was June or July, but wow, the Meg 2 was bad. Meg 1, I don't think I will revisit, especially since Meg 2 was so awful. I want a good, not necessarily, I just want a solid R-rated giant megalodon horror film. Just give me that. They just should have kept it with Eli Roth. After that, I watched Host for the very first time from 2021. I thought this was really well done. Probably one of the best computer webcam films where it takes place purely through, a computer webcam. I'll say it right now. I do think it is the best computer webcam sort of film that I personally have seen. After that, I watched Dashcam, which was the not a sequel, but the follow-up by the same director, Rob Savage, which I will have to say I did not enjoy Dash Cam like at all, but it's still kind of cool because he made two completely different things. One of them totally works for me and one of them doesn't, and that's totally fine. After that, I rewatched Extraction from 2020, just leading up to Extraction 2, which again, I have short reviews for both of these films. I really enjoy both of them. They're both a blast, and I kind of wish they would release them in like a 2-pack, because I don't think Chris Hemsworth will be doing any more of these films, but just give me this 2-pack on Blu-ray. Like, I want to watch these films at home. After that, I watched The Mask. I think this was the very first time that I had seen it all the way through, and it's a solid Jim Carrey film. It's not one of my favorites simply because I didn't grow up with it. Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, those are the ones that connect with me, but The Mask is still really fun, and it was definitely ahead of its time. Next up is Bottle Rocket. I definitely enjoyed the film, but it's not one of my favorites of Wes Anderson's, of his entire catalog. I think it is my least favorite. That's not a diss towards him, but it's his first film, and I think that's kind of a good sign. Because I do enjoy the film, but it just shows that he does progressively get better, in my opinion. After that, I watched The Hunger Games. Again, I rewatched the entire Hunger Games series leading up to Songbirds and Snakes, I believe it's called. But The Hunger Games, it's solid. It's way better than I remembered. I really do like that first Hunger Games film. I had only seen the first two when they originally came out. I only saw the first two, and I guess I just didn't care to see the rest of them. Hunger Games 1 was solid. Next up after that, kind of Hunger Games-esque, was The Hunt. This was also kind of solid. I don't think I'll rewatch it again, but the cast mainly made this film for me. It's got a lot of really, really great actors in just tiny, weird roles, and I thought that made the experience way, way more enjoyable than it just would have been if it were a lot of unknowns. I know that's might be rude to say because, a lot of the times I want to see smaller unknown actors, but it kind of worked with the script and the story that they were telling here. It wasn't meant to be anything taken super seriously, so it worked having faces that were recognizable. All right, you know what? I'm going to get going through these because I got many more months of these episodes to film, so let's go through this. After that, watch White Men Can't Jump, which you will know I did not like. Next up, I watched White Men Can't Jump. That was not a good film, not a good remake. There's no point in this film really for existing. It was bad. Next up was Apollo 18, which I remember really, really liking when it first came out in 2011. I would have been 13 years old, and now on rewatch, I didn't quite finish the film just because I did get kind of bored, but I don't know why. I guess I just loved the intensity of it on that first watch, but it just doesn't hold up. Next up is Fast 9. I didn't watch this. I don't know why I put this on there. I think I probably skimmed through the film just for gags because I did not watch this. I swear to God. Oh Jesus, that makes me cringe knowing that's on there. Next up, I guess redeeming myself after Fast 9 would have been Air, which was a damn good surprise for this year. I'm you feel like you know the story going into it, and I guess you kind of do, but it's just really, really well done. There's a couple nitpicky things I had about some of the locations, visually and things like that, but story-wise, cast-wise, everything was really, really well done, and I would rewatch Air. And then I guess we'll combine these next ones. We got The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Wait, did I skip? No, that's right. Yeah, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, then Mockingjay Part 1 and Mockingjay Part 2. I enjoyed all three of these. I do remember enjoying Catching Fire when it came out in 2013. But Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2 I had never seen before. Spoilers, I did know about Prim dying. That was the only thing I knew going into these last two films about it. That was the only thing I knew, so I really did enjoy it, and I guess I'm curious to see what they do with Songbirds and Snakes. It's not a franchise that I love over the moon, but it's something that I will gladly rewatch because it's fun and it's well made, but it's also popcorn candy at the same time. It's just popcorn candy. It's also a popcorn film at the same time. It's just easy to watch, easy to put on. If you've seen it before, you know what happens. It's just a cozy film. And I say it's just a cozy film because it's not as dark as something like Battle Royale from 2000, which is just the darkest version of the Hunger Games possible, which obviously came out before the Hunger Games. But yeah, Battle Royale is amazing if you haven't seen that as well. Next up, I watched The Terminator, which is fantastic. I don't need to say anything else. Honestly, I'm probably going to rewatch it again because I was trying to rewatch the entire Terminator franchise and do a whole big video of that, and I still want to do that, but I want to have it more fresh in my mind. So The Terminator, it's fantastic. I still think it might be my favorite Terminator film. I know T2 is most everyone's favorite, but next up, Fantastic Mr. Fox, then Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch. Finished all of Wes Anderson's catalog. I was doing that before the release of Asteroid City, which I've seen twice now, and I love that film as well. I didn't totally love it when I first watched it, but the more I watch it, the more that's kind of like my Wes Anderson just like pop on movie now. But yeah, if you want to know my thoughts on all four of those films that I just mentioned that I guess I didn't say anything about, is you can go and watch all of my shorts. I do have short reviews for all of those films, so I guess I'm not going to share my details here. Then we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Rewatched that before Across the Spider-Verse. I still think I like Into the Spider-Verse more, but both of these films were great. Into the Spider-Verse is fantastic. Again, the score is really well done. Animation's fantastic. Next up, Mission Impossible and Mission Impossible 2. I have reviews for the entire Mission Impossible franchise coming out soon. Again, these are going to be shorts, and then I'll possibly combine them into one long video. But as of now, Mission Impossible compared to Mission Impossible 2, wow, that second one is a giant step down. It is, I'll say it now, Mission Impossible 2 is without a doubt my least favorite entry into the franchise, but it's still got some fun moments with some cool stunts, especially that knife going super close to Tom Cruise's eye. Next up, watched Lyle, which I was watching this leading up to something else. It was, I believe the director had something else. Yeah. Stuart Thorndike had Bad Things releasing this year. And spoiler alert, I did not like Bad Things at all, but I did kind of like Lyle. Lyle was drawn out, I will say that. I think it would have worked maybe 20 minutes less and just like really compact it. But I didn't unfortunately like Bad Things, which I wanted to, but it wasn't my thing. All right, and then after that, I watched Lady Bird for the very first time. This was a great film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Honestly, it's simple, but it's fun and it's well made. It's Greta Gerwig who did the Barbie film this year, and I was watching it to lead up into Barbie, and it was a great watch. I'll probably end up rewatching it. I don't know if I'll purchase it, but I did really like the film. All right, and finishing off the month with Sisu. I rewatched it again with my girlfriend so that way she could see it because she did not go to the theaters that day to see Sisu or Mario with me, but she did go to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with me. And Sisu was just a blast. Again, this is a film that I kind of want to own because it's just like, it's Nazis getting obliterated, man. It's fun. It's dumb fun. There's some over-the-top action, but it works, and I had a blast with it. So that's everything that I watched in the month of May. I'm about to go shoot everything that I watched in the month of June. Talk to you guys later. Bye.